What did you think of Austin Matthews taking the C in Toronto?
That's a good question.
I think John Tavares made a very veteran move, and I think it wasn't as simple as like, here, take it. I think it was a conversation. I don't know who sparked it, but if Tavares sparked it, I think it was a great move to think this guy's younger. He's going to be able to lead the team longer. Kind of like what Blake Wheeler said after he got his C stripped, and that one was a little more of a coach's move. And he said, if you think I'm not going to keep leading the locker room and keep leading by example, you're crazy, when he was with the Jets. But I think if Tavares went and said, listen, we obviously the way we've been doing it has not been working. Not to say I'm not a leader on this team, but he's the guy that we look to for a spark. He's the guy that we look to lead by example. He doesn't necessarily have to be the most vocal guy. I can still handle that, but the C's going to look better on him as the main guy. Happy to take a step back and try it this way. If that's the way the conversation went, my hat goes off to John Tavares. I think that's a veteran move.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a passing of the torch. You have one of the best players in the world. I mean, the guy just put up, 69 goals? Love that number, by the way. It fits the mustache beautifully. Last season. Great player. Yeah, it's time. John's coming to the end of his career. Give Austin the C. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. To me, it really, and not to say that your captain doesn't mean anything, but I think the idea of having a team captain is becoming less and less in NHL locker rooms. Feel free to disagree with me on that one down in the comments. I'd love to have a further conversation about it, but I just don't feel like it has the weight that it used to.
I wonder if ever since they put the C on the Roberto Luongo, it seems like the value of the captain kind of went down. It feels like. What do you think of that?
Man, so for those that don't know, the Vancouver Canucks once upon a time decided to put their C on Roberto Luongo. And the league said, you can't do that. There's rules against that. And so they said, fine, we're not going to have a captain out on the ice. We're going to put a C on his helmet because they couldn't put it on the jersey. And to me, as much as, yes, I get it. As much as Lou was the leader in that room, to me, it was just, and the Vancouver Canucks were kind of in that real gray area at the time. To me, it showed that they didn't have a true leader inside of that locker room that puts player skates on. It's one thing to have your goalie be a leader, and they should be a leader no matter what. But those times where he's sitting on the bench, that's kind of tough. You know what I mean? Like when he's on the ice, what's he doing? Is he skating into the bench every single time? I love Lou. I loved it. I don't think it was a good move. And I don't know if that was the crossroads of that. But to me, it just, I kind of felt like it was, I mean, how long is it going to take for Connor Bedard to be captain? They threw it on Jonathan Toews after, I think 3 games. They're like, you're captain. They did it with Connor McDavid. You're captain. Sidney Crosby. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's like, now to me, it feels more like a marketing thing than it is like, this guy's the leader of our locker room. The best move I saw, and I know I'm sounding biased, but putting the C on Lowry, a third liner, that guy leads that locker room. There's no shadow of a doubt that guy, when he stands up in the middle of the room, everyone goes, all right, Cap, what do you have to say? But I just don't think it holds the weight that it used to.
Nah, that guy's leading the fellows into Earl's downtown Maine on a Saturday night. That guy's good looking, tall. That's the only place he's leading them into. Hey, remember that Canadian Tire commercial with Jonathan Toews when he's like, hey, I'm here at Captain Jonathan Toews. Hey, what's that C stand for? Crazy good. Remember that commercial?
I do remember that one.
That was a good commercial.
I do remember
that was the A&W guy. They had the A&W guy, Canadian Tire, I think. You know what I mean?
God love Johnny Toews. He's a beauty, man. Known him for a long time. Haven't spoken to him in years, but good dude.
Man, maybe we can get him on the show. That'd be a great interview. He's not having his feet held to the floor by anybody.
Sure, why not? Let's try. Worst you can say is no.
I'd open the podcast up with that. What's the C stand for? Crazy good.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music.
Pop culture.
Politics. A little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.